What is going on, everybody? It's the Fountain here for a Revolution pay-per-view review. This was AEW's first pay-per-view of the new year and of the decade, if you want to be sincere about it. 7 matches, 1 on the pre-show as well. 3 championships on the line. 3 grudge matches, if I'm correct, in this show. Just top to bottom, one of the best pay-per-views we're going to see all year. And especially after all that garbage that happened on Thursday, the travesty that was Shitberg winning the Universal Championship. This was, and of course, fucking Friday, which was not even any better. This was a great palate cleanser. If you want, and there's going to be one of those things that, when we go through this, if you watch this show and you are a negative person towards a guy named Orange Cassidy, he shut you up tonight. If you're still negative to Orange Cassidy, you're just a fucking idiot. Now, the pre-show match was SCU versus the Dark Order. This, of course, has been something that they have been doing. The Dark Order has been teasing an Exalted One. People have been speculating, and AEW has been throwing the red herring out there that it's going to be Christopher Daniels. And I keep telling people that's bullshit, because I've seen this in another company before, not named WWE, where you had people wearing masks. Not Dark Order-like, but the Aces and fucking Eights did the exact same fucking thing that the Dark Order has. They were teasing that, and TNA did the same thing that AEW's been doing here. We're gonna tease somebody else for weeks upon weeks that this person is our leader, and then boom, you find out that's bullshit. Now I'm gonna get the elephant out of the room. I'm gonna go to that first. People are wondering, oh, where's Matt Hardy? What if Matt Hardy's the Exalted One? Why didn't he show up tonight? As of recording, this is on February 29th, 2020 at 11:41 p.m. Matt Hardy's contract does not come up till March 1st, 2020. So if Matt Hardy, woken, or whatever, Exalted or whatever, would have showed up on this show, he would have been a breach of contract, WWE would have sued, and that would have fucked AEW up. Now, I was looking through YouTube earlier, because I thought the buy-in would happen to be on YouTube, which they've done in the past. I don't know why they didn't this time, but whatever. And somebody put on their thumbnail that Brody Lee or Luke Harper was going to make his debut tonight. Again, it is 2/29/2020 at 11:42 p.m. Luke Harper, Brody Lee's contract, 90 days no compete clause, does not come up until March 8th. Next Sunday. Not tomorrow, not tonight, next Sunday. So those two could not show up. Matt Hardy could not show up, breach of contract. Brody Lee, Luke Harper could not show up, violating a no compete clause through and through. So let's get that out of the way. That is why neither one of these gentlemen could show up tonight. So we had SCU versus the Dark Order, and Stu Grayson with John Silver and Alex Reynolds. Before the match, when we got to the beginning of the buy-in, Christopher Daniels is backstage with Kazarian and Scorpio Sky, and they tell him to stay backstage against the Dark Order because even Sky and Kazarian are believing the bullshit and the red herrings that Christopher Daniels is the Exalted One. Now, of course, that's just a way to, this is following the same fucking blueprint. I don't know who backstage, outside of Taz, was in TNA wrestling when they had the Aces and Eights going on. But this is totally Aces and Eights when they had that going on at the beginning, where you have a bunch of masked men. Stu Grayson, of course, isn't masked, but you know what I mean. And apparently they have a big leader. And that leader is going to be teased as Christopher Daniels for weeks on end, and it's not true. It might be Matt Hardy, it might be Brody Lee, it might be, for all we know, it could be Lance Archer. I don't know, you don't know, we'll have to wait and see. Quick starts to this match, we see goes right after the Dark Order, back and forth action with Kazarian, sending both opponents out to the floor. Kazarian tries for a Hurricane Runner, gets caught by Grayson and Uno, sends Kazarian right into the steel post. The followers all stomp away on Kazarian on the floor, back in the ring. Kazarian tries to fight, but it's on the wrong side of town as Grayson and Uno beat him down. Kazarian is able to flip and roll his way to the tag in Sky. Sky with the flurry of attacks on both opponents. Roll up, cover 2. Grayson tags in, drops Sky, cover 2, gets a bit frustrated. He wasn't able to put him away. They look for a fatality, but Sky fights out of it. Sky thrown into Kazarian. Monkey flips his partner right into the double lariat. SCU later attempting on Grayson. Some of the minions get involved to break that up. Sky tries to roll Grayson, tries to roll up Grayson. Big lariat to the back of Sky's head. Grayson gets the 1, 2, 3, and just like that, the Dark Order beat SCU. It was a really quick match. Nothing special about it. It shows you why this was on the pre-show and why this wasn't on the main card. Post-match, minions show up and attack them. Suddenly, out of nowhere, you hear boom, boom, Colt Cabana, boom, boom, Colt Cabana, and I'm like, what the fuck? So Colt Cabana runs down in his wrestling gear. Like, I want to know this. Does making a save for somebody have to dictate you wearing your wrestling gear? Of course, Colt Cabana is from the Chicago area, as we all know, so this was their way to get the first big pop of the night on Colt Cabana for the crowd. He goes in swinging away on him and Grayson start swinging on each other. The rest of the Dark Order get involved to stomp away on Cabana. And then some weird music starts playing, and you see this hooded figure walk out. And obviously it's Christopher Daniels because he's doing Christopher Daniels' old Fallen Angel pose when he would walk down to the ring with one hand up, one hand face up, with the middle and the index finger and the thumb sticking out and the other two folded. It was obviously Christopher Daniels. Throws when the music starts hitting, the Dark Order is doing the Dark Order sign, and the music hits, and Stu Grayson's looking around. It's like, what the hell's going on? So obviously, this wasn't going to be the Exalted one, because if this was the Exalted one, then you wouldn't see Stu Grayson and the rest of the Dark Order outside of Evil Uno, who was still dealing with those who were in the ring, out and kicking those out of the ring. They wouldn't have acted surprised. Now, he throws off the thing, comes in, does a big, huge running splash on the Dark Order, and they all start fighting away. Daniels, the rest of SCU, and Colt Cabana fight them off. They celebrate, and you see Christopher Daniels and Kazarian apologizing for falling for all the trickery that people, and all the bullshit that's coming out there. Backstage, Lexi Nina talks with the Jurassic Express about their interest in seeing tonight. Stunt and Jungle Boy try to hit on Lexi while Luchasaurus runs down some of the things he's interested in seeing tonight's pay-per-view. They would be seen in the crowd later in the show, so good for them. We had the whole entrance for JR and Tony Schiavone, as it was Taz and Excalibur on this. I guess there was a match or two taped before for Dark, even though we had Dark yesterday. Jake Hager versus Dustin Rhodes. QT Marshall pumps Dustin up at the stage before Dustin makes his way to the ring. Dustin usually does the half face paint, but tonight he did half head. Where he did the bottom, he did a red face paint and then a black. It looked like a messed up version of the Joker's. Instead of white face with red, it was black with red. So Hager makes his way to the front row, and apparently his wife was out there. They give us a little bit of TMI, a little bit of a makeout session on TV. So anybody wanted to see some makeout, someone making out with the other half, there you go. Rhodes charges but gets caught and set into the corner. He turns things around, lands a couple of punches. Hager gets out of there and hits a side suplex. Both trade punches. Hager is sent out of the floor and then into the crowd. Rhodes slams Hager's hand onto the metal railing, and Dustin Rhodes attacks the hand and the arm of Jake Hager from the get-go. He wanted to make this guy pay because if you remember, Dustin's wrist was broken by Jake Hager going into Full Gear to get back at Cody. Still on the floor, Hager runs right through Rhodes with a big lariat. Referee checking on Rhodes in the crowd. As the crowd chants Jericho's bitch, which, by the way, Chicago is always an awesome town for the crowd. This was no different. Back to the ring, Hager goes for a pin too. Hager taking control of the match. Moving on a little bit further into the match, we go back to the ring and Rhodes sets up the Shattered Dreams. Hager gets out, Rhodes with a kick to the stomach. Code Red cover 2. They did make a point that when he did the Code Red, Usually you have both arms trapped, but like underneath your legs. Unfortunately, Jake Hager's one leg arm wasn't, so he had more freedom to kick out. Rhodes looks for the cross arm to break the arm with the cross arm breaker and into an armbar, but Hager initially blocks it, but then he doesn't. Hager rolls over and through and gets to the ankle lock. Rhodes is looking for it to maybe tap, ends up nearly sending Hager into Aubrey Edwards. As she's looking away, Hager with a low blow puts him into the standing arm triangle, knees to the midsection, and Rhodes eventually passes out. Jake Hager wins by submission. The right guy won. It was Jake Hager's first match in AEW, so not a surprise that he won. It was an okay match. Dustin Rhodes did get some licks in on this guy, beat the hell out of him, bucked his arm up. But in the end, Jake Hager needed the win. Dustin really didn't. Match for the Inner Circle number 2, Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin. So far, I'm 1-0 when it comes. I'm 1-0. I don't remember if I did pre-show match for my thing, but I was 1-0 going into predictions for my show this show. Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara. This match, these guys wanted to steal the show so goddamn badly. This match, before the match even started, Sammy Guevara's on the outside. Allin dives through the ropes, takes him out. They are brawling all over the place. Now, it gets to a point where, Sammy Guevara is draped over the barricade. This is what RVD would do before he went up on the top onto the apron, did the RVD hand gesture, and then did a spinning leg drop onto a talent. Darby Allin didn't do that. He goes looking for a suicide dive, but comes up majorly short. His foot caught the top rope as he was coming through, so he barely grazed, if anything, Sammy Guevara to the floor. That looked like that fucking hurt. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know who told him to do that idea, but don't ever do that again. If you can't for sure get through the ropes without hitting yourself, catching your foot, don't do something like that, because that was sick and that looked terrible. Guevara then launches Allin's skateboard right at him. Guevara sets up on a table on the floor. The match hasn't officially started, so they can do whatever the hell they want. Guevara puts Allin on the table, then hits a 630 off the top rope onto Allin. Both finally get in the ring. Bell finally rings. Guevara drops Allin, cover 2. Guevara really working over Allin at this point. Jurassic Express looking on from the front row. They're looking worried after the table spot. Allin hits a Canadian Destroyer out of nowhere. Allin hits the top rope. Guevara follows up but gets shoved into the ring. Guevara leaps to the top and hits a big Spanish fly, cover 2. Guevara expresses the top turnbuckle. Allin ends up sending him into it moments later. Over the top corner, coffin drop off the top rope. 1, 2, 3. Darby Allin is your winner. And at this point, I was like, when I was thinking of my predictions, I felt like this was a match that Darby Allin needed to win. With Jake Hager winning his match, it doesn't kill the Inner Circle or hurt the Inner Circle to have one of their members, because there's only 3 Inner Circle people in the Inner Circle wrestling tonight. Pride and Powerful have the night off from wrestling. They're going to be in Jericho's corner during the main event. Darby needed to win this. Guevara could eat a loss because he's not the focal point or a big push right now. He's the guy in the Inner Circle with the least amount of experience. He's the one who needs to absorb things from Pride and Powerful, from Jake Hager, from Chris Jericho. And when he's eventually ousted from Inner Circle, because that's obviously where that's going, and he gets that babyface push, which of course is going to be helped with the fact that he has his own vlog, and he's pretty much a babyface on there. This guy is going to be okay. Darby Allin is the hot hand. Darby Allin, I could see being possibly a number 1 contender to the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, maybe somewhere down the line. But Darby Allin needed to win. He got his skateboard. Hager yanks Guevara out of the ring before anything happens. Kenny Omega, Hangman Page versus the Young Bucks, AEW World Tag Team Championship match. This was match of the night. No doubt about it. From the 4 men in this match, it started off slow. I will say this. This match started off slow. I can't even go all over back and forth and try and do this match because this match was so fucking good. Everything after this match suffered, though. That's the sad thing. You still had Chris Statlander versus Nyla Rose, MJF versus Cody. The only other match that didn't seem to suffer from this match was Orange Cassidy versus Pac, and then after that was the AEW World Championship match. This match was match of the fucking night. I give this thing 6 fucking stars. Coming into this match, it was going to be wondering who's going to be the heel, who's going to be the babyface, how is this dynamic going to work. Quite clearly, in the grand scheme of things, after that promo on Wednesday, Hangman Page is not the heel. The Young Bucks came out of that looking like heels, calling him a jobber in Ring of Honor, saying they gave him a star, and pissing him off as much as they did. They came into this match. The Young Bucks were the absolute heels. When they were announced by Justin Roberts, when they do the championship announcements when both teams were in the ring, he said the Young Bucks crowd booed them. Chicago wanted nothing to do with the Young Bucks. Hangman Page, most over guy in the company that is not named Cody Rhodes, Darby Allin, or Jon Moxley. It's just amazing how last year, when we were getting AEW started, and it looked like Hangman Page might be one of the first few guys that we see going up for the World Heavyweight Championship, which we found out at Double or Nothing, that was the case. It just seemed like Page wasn't ready. Page wasn't the guy to go up against Jericho or whoever, which it turned out to be Jericho. It just felt off. Like, it really sucked because going into All Out, they didn't have TV. They didn't have the time to give us a reason to invest into a guy like Hangman Page. Chris Jericho's Teflon. Just Jericho, we know who he is. We're invested in him, and we're going to see where this guy can take the AEW World Championship. Hangman Page would have been a terrible first choice for an AEW champion. And less than a year later, this guy is so over. Whatever the hell they did to get this guy where he is at today, I have to commend them. This is by far the best they can do for Hangman Page. And the outcome of this match, this was my first L in the what do I want to say? It was my first L in the predictions that I did on Wednesday. This was a hell of a match, though. It did start out slow. Hangman Page must have, like, Matt Jackson is the one that Hangman has much, like, Tony Schiavone didn't mention that. Coming into this match, it was going to wonder how was Hangman Page going to handle his emotions. Well, it turned out that wasn't the guy you're gonna have to see handle his emotions. It turned out to be Matt Jackson. Because Hangman Page did spit in his face, and Matt Jackson went off. He went off. He fucking took him down, beating the hell out of him. Megan tries to get him off of him. He shoves him away. Nick finally gets him up, pulls Matt away. Nick wants to tag in and eats a big slap to the face. Nick with a kick to the midsection tags Matt back in. Pop-up dropkick. Then they drop Kenny Omega off the apron. Clown boos that. The Young Bucks know how to be baby faces for a match. They know also how to be a heel while also not being a heel coming out of the match. During this match, they were by far the heels. They know how to work a crowd. And when they know that they have to play the heels because Hangman Page is over as fuck. If it wasn't for the fact that Jon Moxley was the number one contender going into this show, I think people would have got behind Hangman Page versus Chris Jericho 2, with Hangman Page beating Chris Jericho for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. But that was not the way we went. This is where we went, and this was by far a fantastic match. Left and right, these guys are beating the hell out of each other. Page is going off on both the Young Bucks. Matt Jackson wants to kill Hangman Page for his disrespect. Pretty much it came down to Matt Jackson was like, we did so much for you in Ring of Honor, New Japan, bringing you into the Bullet Club, bringing you to AEW, and this is how you repay us? By being a total dick with a chip on your shoulder? I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm going to go kick your ass, and I'm going to take the tag team titles. But first off, no miscommunication between Hangman Page and Kenny Omega this entire match, so that is a plus. But Hangman Page hits it came down to this. Like, Kenny Omega, of course, his arm was hurt from the match against Pac on Wednesday. Matt Jackson, at one time, takes the tape off. He's stomping the hell out of it. He was actually going to take the tape and choke Kenny Omega. But of course, Nick came in and stopped him from doing that. He threw the tape away. They hit the golden trigger, I think is what it was called. Yeah, golden trigger, which is a double knees to the face. Omega kicks out at 1. He's going crazy. Crowd was into this from the fucking start. Double super kicks to Omega's face, crap, and cover. He kicks out. I felt bad for whoever had to follow this match. We'll get to that in a second. Matt stops away at Omega's bad shoulder again. Crowd is booing. Nick's talking to Matt, trying to get his head back into the game. They look for a Meltzer driver. Page grabs Nick and powerbombs him. By the way, before this, they had an indie taker hit by Hangman Page onto the ramp on the outside. They went the ramp all the way from the stage all the way to the ring. So we had an indie taker, but he got back in. Page and Omega hit the V-trigger buckshot lariat cover. 1, 2, kick out. Holy shit, what's going to stop this match? Omega looking for the one-wing angel, but he can't get it done because of his arm. Matt taps and Mike kicks out, fights out of it. Page tags in, hits the one-wing angel himself. Crowd went fucking ballistic. This should have been the finish to the match. I just watched Steve Austin's Broken Skull sessions with The Big Show. And he talked about, towards the end of it, how he's been talking to the cruiserweights and how the biggest pop of the match should be the finish. If that's not if the biggest pop to your match is not the finish, then you've done something wrong. This was the biggest pop of the night. When Hangman Page hit that one-winged angel, that was the biggest pop of the show, of the match. Matt breaks it, Nick breaks it up. Page with a buckshot lariat to Nick on the ramp, then another one to the ring to Matt. 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega and Matt and Hangman Page retain the World Tag Team Championships. Holy shit. Great fucking match. This was a 5+ star match. I would give it a half a point off because if you listen to what the Big Show said, it is true. If your biggest pop of the night of your match is not the finish, you've done something wrong. And when Hangman Page hit that one-winged angel to try and seal the deal and win the match, and he got in the match and it was broken up, that was they didn't break that pop. So I think that's where the match should have ended, was the one-winged angel, and that would have been fantastic. But they got the win. Did not expect that to happen. But post-match, the Bucks tried to talk to Omega, who seems somewhat annoyed with how things played out. Omega gives a fist bump to Matt and Nick. Page still seems distant, though. He looks at them for a moment, gives them a head nod, but gets out of the ring. Young Bucks leave the ring. Page eyes Omega, whose back is to him as he's watching the Bucks leave. He drops his title, grabs the rope, teases he's going to hit that buckshot lariat. But he tells Omega to come and he stops, and Omega's like, whoa, what the, like, Omega has that look of, whoa, what the fuck are you gonna do? And he's like, come on. They go shoulder, like, arm in arm, walk away with your championships. This was great. I don't pity anybody who had to follow this, and unfortunately there had to be a match that had to follow this. This isn't WWE, this isn't something else where we would have had some stupid backstage segment to try and get the crowd to come down. We go right into Nyla Rose and Chris Statlander. It sucked that this match had to happen here. But were you going to put MJF and Cody here? Were you going to put Orange Cassidy and Pac here? Were you going to put the world title match here? No. This was the only match. Unless you would have started this match off with the show off with this match and gave us Jake Hager and Dustin Rhodes here, that would have been the only other match you could have put in this spot. Could these women bring the crowd back and give us a decent match? No, this match was not the best match they could have seen. This match just, I don't know what it is. Maybe it was because of the crowd, which the crowd is 50% of the match. If the crowd is not into the match, you're doing something wrong. Or something happened, or there was a match beforehand that was better. It's just, I feel bad for these women. I really do. The women, it was part of this that really hurt this match. Statlander just she's good at what she does. There was a point in this match where Statlander was draped over the top rope, like she's going to do the just jump on him and splash him, but she handstands herself, and then just gets down and blows a kiss to Nyla Rose. That was funny. Other than that, there was really nothing else in this match that was really worth anything. Nyla Rose continued to try and go up top. Statlander goes up and hits a goes for a superplex, and because of the size differential and they couldn't get it right, they both fall hard. Second foot on the top rope. Rose goes for the big boot to the face. She goes up for the second rope. Statlander goes up again. Tries for the Hurricane Rana. Rose blocks it. Big Beast Bomb. 1, 2, 3, and Nyla Rose retains the championship. The crowd was absolutely dead from start to finish. This match just had, you knew, putting Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and the Young Bucks in a match in that match, there was no following it. I don't even think if you would have made that the semi-main event, that could have been the main event on a Fyter Fest or Fight for the Fallen. That was a fantastic match, and nothing on this show followed it. Yes, Pac and Orange Cassidy, which will be a little bit later, was an exciting match. It was a fun match, but nothing topped this match. That match. This match, I give him an A for effort, but that's all I can do. Cody with Brandy Rhodes and Arn Anderson versus MJF and Wardlow. This match has been building since Full Gear. And MJF has not made it easy for Cody. Couldn't touch him. Had to take 10 lashes. Steel cage. Speaking of steel cage, March 25th, 2020. On Wednesday, from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. 2 rings. 1 cage. 1 sealed cage. AEW is going to give us their own War Games in a pay-per-view style event show they are calling AEW Blood and Guts. Now, where did that name come from? Why did they come up with the name Blood and Guts? Well, Vince McMahon in July on a Q2 or Q1, whatever they had, it was a quarterly meeting. This was right after, I believe, we had Fight for the Fallen, or one of those shows that had Jon Moxley in a match where there was a lot of blood. And Vince McMahon was asked about AEW with TNT. This was after TNT was announced for their show. We didn't have a name for it yet. It was just AEW on TNT. Vince McMahon spouted off that he doesn't believe Turner is going to deal with blood and guts for very long. Lo and behold, we have a show on Wednesday, March 25th, 2020, that will be called AEW Blood and Guts. That will have their own version of War Games. Cannot call it War Games. Should not call it War Games. You have Lethal Lockdown in Impact Wrestling. You have War Chamber in MLW. Give me a new name. I don't care. I would much rather than do a 1 ring. But hey, they're doing the 2. It's going to be sealed. I'd rather see a name that's not named War Games because it's going to be kind of dumb, especially if NXT has a takeover War Games in November again. It's like, what the fuck? Who owns War Games? It's like, what's going on here? WWE has the rights to War Games. They bought it from MLW, who was using it for a couple years, and now they're going to have to come up with a different name. They didn't say the name. It was just 2 rings, 1 steel cage. You know the rest. This is war. They have so basically, Double or Nothing is the next pay-per-view, but before that we have Blood and Guts on Wednesday, March 25th. They have the rest of this month and half of next month to get us to March 25th, which will be the next pay-per-view style show. And this is what AEW needs to do for majority of the non-pay-per-view months. March is going to have one. April needs one. May does not because of Double or Nothing. June, July need them. Let's see what they do there. But they telegraphed who was going to win this match from the beginning. Cody comes out with Nightmare Family, Stephen Amell, Dustin Rhodes, and all these other people wearing Nightmare Family costumes. It was great to see Stephen Amell. I mean, they need to book this guy. If he doesn't want to if he doesn't want to do acting anymore, I remember his match from All In with Christopher Daniels. That was fantastic. He needs to do the wrestling thing sometime, and I would love to see Stephen Amell get his shot in AEW. I think he would be fantastic. Anyway. And by the way, he also had the people who did his actual theme performing him to the ring. Who do you think is going to win this match? AEW telegraphed so badly who was winning this match. Was it a good match? Yes, it was a very good match. It was a classic old school type wrestling match. But you made it way too obvious who was winning this match, and it wasn't going to be Cody Rhodes. I'm telling you that right now. Nightmare Family members, including Stephen Amell, only Arn and Brandy stayed at ringside, back and forth action. Back and forth not really, because for the beginning of this match, MJF is bailing from the ring multiple times. He wants nothing to do with this match. He never wanted to get this match. He just wanted to play games with Cody. He wanted Cody to hit him. He wanted Cody to lose the cage match. He didn't want him to get the 10 whippings. He wanted Cody to break to where Cody would make sure this match never happened. He gets away, strolls out to the floor, claiming the crowd, flicking him off, slaps the guy's hat off, takes a beer and throws it on to somebody. Back in the ring, Cody continues to dominate MJF. He ends up rolling out to ramp. Cody goes out to the tunnel and runs all the way down to the ramp, hitting MJF with a clothesline. MJF with a thumb to the eye and a stomp to Cody's fractured toe, which comes into play later. Cody with an airplane spin on MJF will turn into an Alabama slam. Brandy ends up throwing a beer at Wardlow. He goes over towards her and Cody hits a suicide dive onto him. Then stomps away on Wardlow. Referee is distracted. Wardlow yanks Cody into the ring post, then tosses him in. MJF tosses Cody into the ring post, shoulder first. MJF continues to work over the shoulder and Cody shoves him into the corner. MJF works on a submission, tying his legs and arms, so Cody has to bite the rope to break the hold. Definitely a good use of the rope, but yeah. MJF then looks to take Cody's boot off, and does so after Cody kicks him away. So he grabs the foot. He took the boot off with the broken foot. So he takes this foot. I don't know what possessed MJF to do this, but the motherfucker takes the big toe, which is fractured, and bites the motherfucker with a sweaty sock on. At this point, I wanted to barf. And the only other time I want to barf during a wrestling show is when I'm watching trash in WWE. Arn is on the apron asking the referee, what the fuck was that? How do you want to allow that? MJF puts Cody on the top rope, chops the throat. Cody slips on it and drops MJ's face on the top rope, both back and forth on the top rope, and Cody hits a reverse suplex onto MJF. Cody sends MJF out of the ring. He looks to fly, but Wardlow gets on the apron to distract. Arn grabs a chair and goes over at Wardlow. MJF is now busted open from what? I don't fucking know. I don't know if he hit the ring post or hit something, but all I know is he suplexed him in reverse. Cody sends him out of the ring, looks to fly, but Wardlow gets onto the apron, distracts. I don't know if Arn went over and kicked him or something, but all I know is he is busted open. They never show us what could have caused him to be busted open, so this is one of those things that he bladed for no reason. Cody brings him into the ring and punches away at the new wound on the top rope, which he's screaming, 1, 2, 3 to 10. It was like, whoa, calm down, Cody. Spinning power slam, cover 2. Wardlow gets involved. Brandy leaps off the apron, but Wardlow catches her. She gets out of the way. Cody goes for a kick, but kicks Arn by mistake as Wardlow moves. Back in the ring, MJF low blows during the chaos. Cody looks for a suplex out of the ring. Well, he low blowed him, and I believe he tried to get a pinfall. Didn't work. They get over to he has him in a suplex, ends up picking him up and falling out of the ring to the floor. Referee starts a 10 count and both get back in at 9. Cody with some elbows, looks for the finishing blow, and MJF just rolls away. Crowd is booing him. MJ is up and drops Cody. He takes Cody's weight belt and goes to whip him. The referee takes it away. Cody with a low blow as the referee is back his turn and plants MJF. Cover 2. Cody gets the belt, cracks MJF on the back. Referee goes to take it away. Cody says, "Can I just get one more?" Referee drops his hands, turns away so he doesn't see it, cracks him in the back. MJF then cowers into the corner. He tosses in the crowd, by the way, so somebody got a fucking souvenir. MJF then calls over to Cody's foot. He's climbing up Cody. He's got the fake crying going on. He comes up, he hugs him. He gives him another hug, and then he says, "I'm sorry." Spits in his face. Crossroads lands. Cody goes for a second one. Gets it. Tries for a third. Eats a knee. MJF then has the diamond ring on. Punches him. Puts it back in. Bounces himself off the ropes. Falls straight onto Cody. 1, 2, 3. MJF beats Cody as he should have. What, do you think this is going to be the only match Cody and MJF have? This is far from over. Blood and Guts is coming up on March 25th. I was wondering, where are we going to get the second match between Cody and MJF? Blood and Guts. The third match is Double or Nothing. The third match is when this ends. And the third match is where Cody gets his revenge finally. This is far from over. Cody loses. MJF wins. He leaves. Cody is just in a state of shock. What the hell? I had this guy beat, and I lost. Cody is done for now, but he will be going possibly to Blood and Guts to take on MJF and beat him. Now, with the question of this being War Games, is this only going to be like a 3-match show or maybe a 2-match show? Because War Games matches, the War Games style matches take 45 to 60 minutes to get completed. I don't know how they're going to do that. And if they do 4 people, I can see maybe. If they do 3 people, I can see. But I don't know what they're going to do. Hopefully we'll find more out in Denver on Wednesday. Pac versus Orange Cassidy. JR, for the majority of this match, was phoning it in so badly. You can just tell that he wanted this match to be over with so we could get to the main event. Ooh. I watched 2 XFL games, commented on those on my Twitter account, and then watched this and commented on that. I am a tired motherfucker, so you gotta be lucky now I'm getting through this. Cassidy starts the match with his glasses on, a holy shit chant by the crowd. He goes to put his hands in the pocket. Pac stops him, and Cassidy immediately flips Pac on the mat. Pac looks surprised. Cassidy throws soft kicks. And it's like he starts doing the soft kicks thing, and then Pac starts doing it too. So they're going back and forth, and then the massive Suki kick by Cassidy. Pac then actually shoves Cassidy to the mat. Glasses fly away, they disappear. Cassidy sends it to the ropes, leaps over Pac, drop kick, then light boot to the back of Pac's head. Crowd going wild as his hands are still in his pockets. Cassidy with a tricky roll up for the 2 count. Cassidy hits the ropes but eats a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker out of the floor. Pac sends him to the barricade. Chuck Taylor has a white towel in his hands, possibly for the future use. Doesn't get used, by the way. Cassidy gets sent headfirst into the ring post. That looked brutal. As they mentioned on commentary, these are not WWE-style ring posts or normal ring posts. They are not round, they are square. So you have a corner or an edge that you're going to go into neck first. I don't know which is what, a round or a square ring post. Pac continues to beat his opponent up, scoop slam on Cassidy, Pac to the top rope and hits a shotgun dropkick. Pac plants Cassidy, cover 2. Then the crowd starts chanting, "No Pope." Pac puts Cassidy on the top rope. Pac with the super brainbuster. 1, 2. Picks him up. Could have ended it there. Picks him up. By the way, that brainbuster looks devastating. He did it to Kenny Omega on Wednesday and did it here to Orange Cassidy. Holy shit. Holy shit. Add that to the list of things I would never want to take if you paid him. If you could not pay me any money in the world to take. Pac up top, and Cassidy just rolls down to the floor. Pac gets him back in the ring, goes up top again. Cassidy rolls out and down to the floor again. Pac sends him into the ring. Cassidy rolls all the way across the ring, and Pac meets him on the other side. And Cassidy just has this big smile on his face as he laughs this up. Pac and starts rolling to the other way. Pac claps at it as he goes up, but he hits a quick suicide dive. Gets him to the ring. Tornado DDT cover, barely 2 count. Pac up, and lands a big lariat. Cassidy with some weak chops, which people were like doing the for. They did say that this probably wasn't even intentional. It's just he could be depleted. Pac clocks him. Cassidy hands in the pocket, ducks a shot, and hits a Superman punch. Cassidy went from Orange Cassidy to Super Orange Cassidy. He started going fucking bananas. Pac picks him up, but Cassidy reverses into a stun dog millionaire. Fucking beautiful. Cassidy up top rope, but Pac kicks him in the rope and crosses Cassidy. Pac looks for the super power slam mid fucking air. Like super power slam mid air counter into a DDT. Cassidy with a diving DDT from the top rope. Pac rolls out of the ring. Cassidy, like Cassidy, Trent sends Pac back into the ring. Airway clash. 1, 2, nothing. Lucha Brothers. Then all of a sudden, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix come out and they clear out Trent. Taylor drives over the top rope and hits them with the senton. All four of them fight to the back. This has Cassidy and the referee distracted. Pac takes Cassidy down, locks in the brutalizer, and that was that. Pac wins as he should have, but Orange Cassidy was elevated so much higher after this. If any fucking buddy has anything to say bad about Orange Cassidy, he just shuts you up. You may not like the way Orange Cassidy does his shtick, but when he's asked to go, he can fucking go, and he proved that tonight. Pac wins, and that leaves us with Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley. We're at another state of the show that this match had to follow what happened in the match before. Now, it was no 5-star classic between Orange Cassidy and Pac, but the crowd used up the majority of their energy for that match. This was a fun match. This match was great. First off, did anyone think that Moxley vs. Jericho was going to be in the ring for 95% of the match? These two from go. Moxley starts with the eye patch on, starts from the outside the building, makes his way to the ring through the crowd. Jericho's entrance starts with a choir singing Judas. Then the original theme plays as the champ makes his way to the ring with Santana and Ortiz. We got the 7 stitches from what happened on Wednesday. Moxley headbutts at this. Let's see. Now, Moxley was introduced as, and he had to paraphrase this, 0 F's given. Jericho was introduced as changing the world for signing with AEW and changing the universe. Aubrey Edwards, of course, is your referee. She has pretty much, I think Aubrey Edwards has refereed every World Championship match that we've had in AEW, so good for her. I don't think Earl Hebner was on this show at all. Usually Earl Hebner is on the pay-per-views because of his age and everything, but I didn't see Earl at all tonight. He wasn't the referee doing Cody matches, and usually on pay-per-view he does Cody's matches. Moxley and Jericho throw shots. Jericho sent to the floor. Jericho into the crowd. Moxley gets in Santana and Ortiz's faces, and they follow. Jericho sends water in Moxley's face. Throw him into the metal stands. The two fight all way up into the crowd. Edwards follows, but they're not doing a 10 count because after what happened with the last match, these two had to do something to get the crowd's energy back up. If they went out there and just tried to have a normal catch-can kind of match, this crowd would have been dead, and by the time the end of this match happened, the crowd would have had no reaction. So these guys knew what the fuck they were doing, and they had to go out there and give you this. Jon Moxley is the purveyor of violence. Chris Jericho, when he goes, this was Chris Jericho, what he does in New Japan. He goes there, he fights, and they brawl out into the ring and everything else and around the same. They don't stay in the ring for very long. That is exactly what we had here. Moxley bites at the stitches. Jericho fights back, and Moxley has been busted open now in the eye. The patched eye. Jericho powerbombs Moxley through a timekeeper's table, which the bell was still on at this time. Jericho swings the leg at Moxley in the ring, calls him a piece of shit. Goes to the second rope and hits a double axe handle on his back. Moxley rings the bell, gets on the mic and says, "Your winner, Chris Jericho." Crowds with the stupid idiot chant. Jericho flips the crowd off, and Moxley with some charge. Jericho whips him into the corner, then stomps away at his face. Jericho tosses him out of the floor and whips him hard into the steps. This match goes for a very, very long time. This match did not start till 11, by the way. We did not have the main event till 11. That was a negative on this show, in my opinion. Both wrestlers up towards the end of this match, throwing shots in the middle of the ring. Jake Hager came out. He tried to interfere. The Proud and Powerful tried to interfere. They all interfered. modern wrestling sometimes sucks. Because in modern wrestling, something like having Sammy Guevara, while the referee is distracted with the rest of the inner circle, coming in, hitting Moxley with a belt shot, the fans know he's not going to lose that way. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that happens, and the person kicks out, the crowd goes ballistic because, oh my god, how did he survive that? Even 10, 15 years ago, that would have mattered a lot more. But the fact that you had Edwards getting these other guys out there, Guevara hits Moxley in the face with the belt, and it's not enough. It just shows you that and everyone knew it was going to happen this way, shows you that modern wrestling sucks. Both wrestlers were up, throwing shots in the ring. Death Rider attempt. Jericho gouges Moxley's good eye. Jericho then boots him in the head. Moxley can't see. Jericho punches him right in the face. Knee to the face. Jericho on the second rope pulls down the knee pad and drives it into Moxley's face. Jericho lining up for the Judas effect. Moxley ducks it, hits the Death Rider. Moxley lifts off the eye patch, and he can see just fine. He's been playing possum the entire time. Hits the elevated Death Rider. 1, 2, 3. New AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Jon Moxley. The right person won this match. So, if my predictions, if I'm correct, were the only ones I got wrong were the tag team title match and the women's championship match. I was right about everything else. This was a great show. Everything that happened on Raw, SmackDown, and Super Letdown paled in comparison to this fucking show. NXT, unfortunately, is starting to pale in comparison to everything AEW does. This was fun. The right people, and if you look back at things, even though I would have loved to see Chris Statlander win, I would have loved to see the Young Bucks win, I guess the right people won. The only one that I'd say that the right people probably didn't win would be the Young Bucks match. But it's like, you have the Young Bucks being heels in this match, so I think that's why they didn't win. Was the simple fact is that they are playing heels when they're actually baby faces. You're not going to have Hangman Page and Kenny Omega lose to the Young Bucks when the Young Bucks are being booed out of the building. If you're going to have the Young Bucks win the titles, it's going to have to be a moment where the crowd is cheering them. If the Young Bucks would have won tonight, that would have been horrible reaction for them. They would have came out on Wednesday night and been booed because they beat Hangman Page. Who is going to beat Hangman Page and Kenny Omega? It's probably going to be Pride and Powerful. That's the only other team that I think right now could beat them and get the proper reaction that they need. But in the end, one new title change, one surprising title retention. MJF is a fucking star. Darby Allin's a fucking star. This show, everyone felt like nobody coming out of the show felt outside. I would have to say Chris Statlander probably feels a little bit lower than she did before. Everybody else outside of that women's match felt like they were elevated, win, lose, or draw. So that is SmackDown for tonight. I'm sorry, not SmackDown. My bad. Revolution. AEW Revolution review. I will be here tomorrow for Unscripted, episode 109 or 10. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. And I will see you guys tomorrow for that. Monday for Raw. Tuesday for the XFL analyst for this week. And I'm going to tell you right now, this has been the best week we've had so far with 2 good games. Hoping for more tomorrow. But until then, my name is France, and I'll see you guys later.